I've got some breaking news. Tulsi Gabbard has gone full MAGA. She used to be a DNC chair, and now she is endorsing Donald Trump. That's right. Tulsi Gabbard has endorsed Donald Trump. Here's the clip. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the wrong clip. Here is the clip.
Today, I'm honored to officially welcome another true American patriot, a 17-year veteran of the Hawaii Army National Guard, a 4-term Democrat congresswoman, very, very popular, the former vice chair of the National Democratic Party and a 2020 Democrat candidate for the United States presidency. You know, she was a very good candidate. Every time she ran, she was good. She did well. She decided to leave. She couldn't take it anymore, but she is very special, and I didn't know this, but she was a lieutenant colonel. That's not bad. Lieutenant colonel. Not bad. I didn't know that. You know, I just found out. I said, put it down. You got to put that down. That's bigger. That's better than all the other stuff I read. But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country, and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi, please.
That's right. Fresh off of his endorsement of the guy who left a dead bear in Central Park and has a brainworm and also has sexual allegations from his old family babysitter against him, RFK Jr., Donald Trump is now accepting the endorsement of Tulsi Gabbard, someone who Hillary Clinton says the Russians love very much. Watch this.
Now to an extraordinary development in the presidential campaign. Hillary Clinton, the 2016 nominee, called Tulsi Gabbard, one of the current candidates, quote, the favorite of the Russians. Nancy Cordes is following this. And Nancy, what are we to make about all this?
Well, Nora, Hillary Clinton did not mention Tulsi Gabbard by name, but an aide confirms that that's who she was talking about when she made this stunning claim that the Russians had already hit on a way to meddle in the 2020 election, much in the same way they meddled in her election in 2016. On a podcast interview, Clinton said, quote, they're grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. Clinton was referring to the fact that the Hawaii Congresswoman gets a lot of attention from Kremlin-linked media, just as Green Party candidate Jill Stein did back in 2016. This afternoon, Gabbard lashed back, accusing Clinton of trying to destroy her reputation and calling Clinton, quote, the queen of warmongers, embodiment of corruption, and personification of the rot that has sickened the Democratic Party for so long. For now, most other Democrats are staying out of this fight. Gabbard, who is at 1 or 2% in most Democratic primary polls, has repeatedly said, Nora, that she does not plan to run as a third-party candidate.
So it should be no surprise that this is where we're at. Tulsi Gabbard she was filling in for Tucker Carlson's show. She hangs out with Republicans. She talks in Republican talking points. She loves to attack the Democrats. She sides with Russia instead of Ukraine in the Ukraine war. And as Hillary Clinton says, the Russians have been grooming her. If anyone is a Russian asset, it is Tulsi Gabbard. So it makes sense that she goes to the pro-Russia party, the Republican Party, led by Donald Trump, and is sitting right up there endorsing him. I guess I can believe this. I can believe this. It's a shame that it's gotten to this point for her, but it seems like anyone who's endorsing Donald Trump now is just doing it in the pursuit of power. It's power instead of party. It's power instead of country. And it's completely disappointing, but it's by no means surprising. Now, what does this mean for Donald Trump? What does this mean for the campaign? What does this mean for the next 70-odd days? I'll tell you this. It doesn't mean a thing. Donald Trump is going to pretend like he's in some sort of unity party, but he's not. Tulsi Gabbard has not been a Democrat for a very long time. This is just a natural progression of where things were heading. This is not surprising for anyone at all, and it does not move the needle at all. I want you to think, does your friend who does not pay attention to politics know who Tulsi Gabbard is? Please, it does not move the needle one bit. I hope that the media does not focus on this. I wanted to bring this to you because I wanted to make sure, because I do think the media is going to make a thing out of this, unfortunately. But I wanted to at least give you all some context about what this means, where she's been, where this means the campaign is going. And I don't think this matters one bit. There is not going to be a Tulsi Gabbard endorsement bump. Now, I'll tell you this. When Taylor Swift endorses Kamala Harris, that is going to move the needle. That'll be a media moment. It's actually really telling that Donald Trump is relying on these extremist fringe candidates like RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard to get any sort of press attention because he just can't generate it himself. And I'm not going to show you the full speech he gave after Tulsi Gabbard endorsed him. I'll just tell you this. He is extremely low energy. It doesn't seem like he even has fight left in him anymore. So I'm going to end it with this. Here is Pete Buttigieg absolutely clowning Tulsi Gabbard on the debate stage.
I want to get back to Pete Buttigieg and his comment about experience. Pete, you'll agree that the service that we both have provided to our country as veterans by itself does not qualify us to serve as commander-in-chief. I think the most recent example of your inexperience in national security and foreign policy came from your recent careless statement about how you as president would be willing to send our troops to Mexico to fight the cartels. As commander-in-chief, leader of our armed forces, I bring extensive experience serving for 7 years in Congress, on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, on the Homeland Security Committee, meeting with leaders of countries around the world, working with military commanders of different commands, dealing with high-level national security briefings, understanding what's necessary, the preparation that I've gotten to walk in on day one to serve as Commander-in-Chief.
Congresswoman, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'll allow you to respond.
I know that it's par for the course in Washington to take remarks out of context, but that is outlandish even by the standards of today's politics.
Are you saying that you didn't say that?
I was talking about U.S.-Mexico cooperation. We've been doing security cooperation with Mexico for years, with law enforcement cooperation and a military relationship that could continue to be developed with training relationships, for example. Do you seriously think anybody on this stage is proposing invading Mexico?
That's not what I said.
I'm talking about building up alliances. And if your question is about experience, let's also talk about judgment. One of the foreign leaders you mentioned meeting was Bashar al-Assad. I have, in my experience, such as it is, whether you think it counts or not, since it wasn't accumulated in Washington, enough judgment that I would not have sat down with a murderous dictator like that.
I know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?